watch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome in to another edition of the JP Peterson Show. It's Football Friday, but we got lots of other sports to talk about too. So this is gonna be a crazy show today. We are jam-packed. You know, we tell you every day we like to give you the best 2 hours Tampa Bay sports-centric talk, and I think we got a pretty good show for you planned today. Brought to you by Emerging Investigations and the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES. lawgroup.com. At 10:15, we are going to effort to get TJ Reeves on a little StreamYard video call from the hotel in Munich. I'm getting a little static in my headphones here. I don't know what I got going on here. Anyway, so TJ Reeves will join us at 10:15, technology willing. Pat Burnham will join us at 10:30 to talk FSU Syracuse, a little top 25 matchup this weekend up in the Carrier Dome. Should be interesting. At 10:45, Eric Erlinson, Double E's, is going to join us to talk some hockey as the Lightning get set for a home and home against the Caps at Washington tonight, and then home against the Caps on Sunday. So we'll talk to him at 10:45. And then Doug Wechter is going to join us from Rays Baseball at 11:15 to talk about the exodus of some very big fan favorites, G-Man Choi and Kevin Kiermaier, and some fan enemies. And then Scott Fitzgerald's going to join us at 11:45. If you guys are interested in real estate investing, or if you're thinking about buying a house, should I rent, should I buy? If I'm going to buy, how do I get the best loan? And should I invest in real estate now that the market is coming back down? Is this a good opportunity? He is the absolute expert. So if you have any questions and you want to hit us up on social media, please do. But we'll have him on to talk a little real estate at the end of the show as well. So that's a stacked show right there. Nick Geddes, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good. I mean, we've had a well-rounded week. We've had a lot of USF talk.
Yes.
We got the Bucs in Munich.
Mm-hmm.
The Rays have started to make some moves. We got some off-season chatter there. We got the Lightning going on. We got FSU. We got Florida.
It's a big weekend.
It's been a big week.
And USF has to go play SMU.
Didn't they just score, what, like
77
points?
Yeah, I was talking to Tyoka Jackson, former Buccaneer, now works doing football games, and he did that game. He was like, dude, it was unbelievable. They were both and the USF defense just gave up 630 yards to Temple.
To Temple, yes.
To Temple.
The Owls.
I mean, it's just SMU could literally score 100 points in this game. Could score 100 points.
And they might.
Poor Ernie Sims.
Yeah,
Poor Ernie Sims.
I don't want to be in Ernie's shoes right now.
Ernie Sims is the guy who took over the USF defense this week. Well, look at it this way. I was going to say, could it get any worse? They scored on every possession but one, I think.
Is this, by the way, real quick, is this the FSU Ernie Sims?
Yeah.
Or is it a different one?
No, the same one.
The same one?
Yeah.
Wow.
The first-round pick of the Lions. Yeah, I was chatting with him at the coaches golf tournament last year, and he's such an impressive young man. He's a little older now. But, I remember covering him at FSU, and he's got head coach written all over him. You just meet guys that have that charisma, and they just carry themselves like head coaches. This guy, like I would follow that guy. He's just that guy's something. He's got the it factor. Ernie Sims got the it factor. He'll be a head coach somewhere one day in a Power 5. Yeah, ooh. Maybe it'll be USF one day. Who knows? But I really believe that he's got that factor. He needs obviously some seasoning. You take over the defense. Will he get the job? Whoever takes over, probably not, because everybody wants to bring in their own guys. But he's an asset. And if I were Michael Kelly, I would. You want to cherry pick some people on this staff that you'd like to keep around.
Hey,
he's definitely one of them.
How old do you feel that Ernie Sims is now an interim head coach, and so is Cadillac Williams, two guys that you have covered in your career?
That I hot tubbed with Cadillac in a promo one time. Don't be weird, people. It's weird. Well, not only that, but these guys that I covered, their sons now are playing. Their kids are playing. They're coming up from everywhere.
Yeah.
I just saw Dexter Carter, who played for the 49ers in FSU. His son just committed to Georgia. So Not Florida State, by the way, in case you're keeping score. That was a not Florida State. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of stuff there. So yeah, I feel no doubt about it. All right. So the Bucs are in Munich. We'll hopefully catch up with TJ Reeves here in just a little bit. They have arrived safely. Seattle got there basically a day ahead of them. And I did hear that their flight times were about the same because of the geography of going over the North Pole and all this stuff. Crazy. But so they got in early. They're already practiced. I was listening to Rick Stroud's podcast, and he was just talking about he went to the practice and how loosey-goosey they are and just they're having fun. Of course, when you're 6-3 and nobody expected you to do anything, you can be that way. And I was looking at the trade that the Seahawks did with the Broncos.
Yeah.
And somebody sent me, it was Fitzy that sent me this because his one of his family members is an assistant to the GM at his niece, I think is assistant to the GM and in Seattle. They got Drew Lock for a 4th round pick and Russell Wilson. They got Drew Lock, Noah Fant, the tight end, playing pretty well. Shelby Harris, the defensive lineman. The 2022 first round pick turned into offensive lineman Charles Cross, who's playing very well. The second rounder was Boye Mafe, yeah. And 5th rounder is Tariq Woolen, who's crushing it.
Who's like the best rookie defender in the class.
He's like some 6'4" corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, like runs like a 4.27. And they still got a 2023 first round pick next year of the Broncos, who's going to be pretty good, and a 2nd round pick. Do you remember the Herschel Walker trade back in the day that set up the Dallas Cowboys for their runs at the Super Bowl?
This might be that Herschel Walker trade of this year.
Yeah. Yeah. When I'm generally now in the camp of I'll trade my picks, but if you can get that many picks and you need to rebuild, I'll trade anybody. And Russell Wilson was on the downslide. I mean, this is woo.
It's a heist.
It's a heist.
It's a heist.
It is a heist, and it's why Seattle is playing so well.
Yeah, and they've
got a good young core, and then of course there's this Geno Smith factor, which is just ridiculous the way he's playing.
You mentioned there that they're playing and they're practicing a lot loose, and they just look like they're having fun. And of course, when you're winning, you're having fun. But to me, the biggest factor is they did trade Russell Wilson. And it seems like by everything we're hearing, I mean, now there's this feud in the public between him and Pete Carroll about the wristband. I don't know if you saw that.
What's this?
Geno Smith was being praised by Pete Carroll because he's got this new wristband with the playbook, which, quarterbacks wear all the time. And I guess Russell Wilson never wore one of those. And Pete Carroll praised him for wearing this wristband. And then they asked Russell Wilson, about it this week. And he's like, I don't know about wristbands. We won a lot of games and it never mattered what I wore. And all that kind of stuff. So but the point is, it's starting to get a little public now, both taking these little shots at each other. Yeah. I just think this is a team that it's clear to everybody. Either they didn't like Russell Wilson or they didn't mix with Russell Wilson. And now that he's gone, they have a chance to be themselves, it looks like. Yeah. And as Tyler Lockett said a couple weeks ago, it doesn't matter who gets the credit. So now they're all playing for the team. Pete Carroll's a really good coach. They just seem like a re-energized group with after this trade.
Well, I tell you what, I was all for going and getting Russell Wilson and giving up picks. No, that might have been a big
Could
mistake.
The offense be any worse?
Well, what do you mean if it was Kyle Trask? Think about this. If it was Kyle Trask or Blaine Gabbert, could it be much worse? Not really. I know.
I know it could.
Yeah,
It could.
I don't know.
I could promise you that Kyle Trask and Blaine Gabbert wouldn't have just one interception through 10 games.
True.
9 games.
Yeah, which is crazy anyway. All right, so the Bucs are in Munich. Before they left, and the good news is Antoine Winfield is with them. Russell Gage did not make the trip.
Or Gedeke
did not make the trip. So, this is Julio Jones looks like he's going to play again for third game in a row. Wow. And he's starting to be a little bit of a factor here and there.
Is he?
He did catch a couple balls, but hopefully that gets better. And I'm really interested to see a couple things this week. And Lord, please let it happen. I'd like to see Cade Otton get 6 to 8 targets. This game and really work the middle of the field. I'd like to see Scotty Miller get some jet sweeps. I'd like to see some difference in the run game. I'd like to see, some counter trays like we did at Dallas. Move the offensive linemen. Stop just trying to run straight up the middle, and push people. Just get some movement in the run game. I would like to see them throw the ball on first down. I would like to see Rachaad White. And there's a lot of buzz about Rachaad White, certainly in the fantasy world. Everybody's saying it looks like Rachaad White's going to start getting more touches. I don't know where that's coming
I'll believe
from.
it when I see it.
But I'll believe it when I see it. Right. But I'm going to start. I'm going to have Fournette and Rachaad White on my team, so I'm going to start. I'm going to start Rachaad White, maybe bench Fournette this week. And the fact that Fournette is bitching about it, but that to me will be an outward sign that the Bucs have kind of turned the corner on this lack of effort, as Tom Brady called it, embarrassing effort on game day, as he called it. And they're stop protecting jobs and start playing people that should be playing, and start, if Byron Leftwich is a problem in the run game and with play calling, which you've had Harold Goodman the other day bitching about it as well. There seems to be a real disconnect there. There's ways to fix all these things, and the Bucs have to make some hard choices and fix them. And they're not going to come out and tell us that they're doing it. They're not. It's absolutely not going to happen. Todd Bowles not going to say, yeah, we're going to hand the play calling duties over to Bruce is going to get a headset and we're going to start, doing some different things or whatever. And I don't think that's ever going to happen. But even if they do make changes, we won't know about it. We won't know about it. I hope to God that we see more up tempo. We've all been calling for this. Hell, I've been calling this for 2 years. Brady works really well in the up tempo, and it probably does. And by the way, I know people think that Brady calls all the plays in the up tempo. The microphone is still on. I mean, they're still calling plays. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know how that dynamic works. But yeah, I would say Brady's way more in control of what's getting called when he's doing it. But there's still going to be some input from Byron Leftwich. But this is obviously another pivotal game for the Bucs. If they can win this is going to be a real quality win, and it's going to back up the growth. And the other thing we have to see is the Buccaneer receivers have got to catch the dadgum football. They've got to catch the football and make plays. So let's see if they get, some of these younger kids. Keyshawn Vaughn got a little taste last week. I'd like to see him implemented in the offense in the screen game and do some things, because he's explosive. He's got speed. He's elusive. And that's something that this offense desperately needs.
I thought it was interesting. I saw you mentioned there, like, throw on first down more. I saw a stat yesterday. The Bucs actually, I think, are second or third in the NFL in throwing on first down.
No.
Yes.
That can't be true.
No, it's true. I'm trying to find the actual graphic right now that I saw it. But somebody put it out there yesterday and was like, we could start to put this myth to rest.
I would like to see those numbers, but in the first half. Because
it doesn't account for situation either.
Right. So maybe a lot of those first down calls have been in the second half. Like let's do percentage of first down run calls in the first half. And I guarantee you that number is way lower than the other one, because obviously, the Bucs get behind, they have to throw on every down. They're throwing on first down. Yeah. I mean, I think that I don't think it's as big a problem as other people have made it out to be, but it's part of the problem. But it's part of the problem, in my opinion. So
it is. I'm trying to see if I can get it here.
Yeah, but
yeah, here it is. Yeah, they're
those
second
numbers,
in the league.
Yeah,
second in the league. 70% of the time they're running it on first down, and they're throwing it on first down. That's only behind the Rams.
Yeah, two teams that have been behind in games.
Yeah,
a lot.
But they are followed up by Kansas City and Miami.
Yeah,
two of the best teams.
No, true. But again, situationally, I'd like to see those numbers, how that works out. The Byron Leftwich did talk to the media yesterday. We're waiting on TJ Briefs to pop up here in our. I got a message from him, so we'll see what's up. From Munich, he says, "I'm outside. It's cold, but I'll get you a good shot of the sunset." Oh, good. It's cold. I wonder what the weather is like over there. Well, it's cold in Munich. We will find out here in just a moment. By the way, before TJ pops up, I got a lot of messages last night where there were some people at the USF Hall of Fame banquet, and we had such a great interview with Paul Griffin, who went in last night, the AD that brought the football program to life and did so much over at USF. He went at the Hall of Fame, and Jim Leavitt, whom he hired, was there to support him. And obviously, there's been a lot of bad blood between USF and Jim Leavitt for a long time. for the way that he went out, the lawsuit, all that. And that seemed to be repaired last night as he was back in the fold and shaking hands with USF fans and boosters and officials. And that's good to see. That healing process has begun. And, he might be part of this new coaching staff, depending on who gets hired. I think that would be a good thing. I really do. I think his passion for this program is immense. He's a tremendous defensive mind. And boy, does this team need it. Needs somebody, and he's a great developer of players. He knows how to develop players. So I know there's a lot of USF people, a few USF people that may disagree, but I think it would be a good thing. So anyway, we're going to play the press conference.
Hold up, actually.
That's a no?
I just have to get to this comment real quick.
Okay.
Because it's making me upset to read it.
Okay.
Thomas Casper said, Boston Market Veterans Day chicken pot pies for $5.
Well, there you go.
I don't want to know. Nobody
Yes.
should be going to get chicken pot pies today.
Happy Veterans Day, by the way.
Enough
Thank you
with
to
the
all you
chicken pot
veterans
pies.
for your service. All right, let's bring TJ in. He's here. We got him for like 5 minutes. Let's bring him in. Bucs sideline guy TJ Reeves joining us from a cold Munich. What's up, brother?
It is a little chilly, and Guten Tag from Munich. Can you see over my shoulder? I got to get good at doing this. The sun is setting a little after 4 in the afternoon in Germany. And just to let you know that we're officially here. So here is the hotel behind me.
Nice.
You can see me a little better in the setting sun right here. We'll give you a little ambiance. I'm walking and talking. Hopefully the internet stream stays up. We arrived about 3 a.m. Tampa time, 9 a.m. local time. Official German traffic sign over my shoulder. I'm not sure what that says, but I means probably don't go that way. That's what I'm going with. Here,
go back
right outside. Go back towards the hotel. Right. So I know I'm a little darker right there, so I'm going to turn this way because I wanted to show you the sunset. It is interesting when the game is being played on Sunday. We will be playing in the first half at this time, and it will be getting dark, obviously, in the first half at this time at Bayern Munich Stadium. So this just gives you a feel about 48 hours from now of what it will look like with the setting sun, because they told us, hey, it's going to be getting cooler as the game goes on too. So that's another thing, a little bit of a cold weather game. We're weak in Florida, as we know. So anything below 50 degrees, we're chilly, and it's going to probably be in the 40s in the second half of the game and maybe lower.
Oh, wow, that is cold. What's the vibe over there? Have you been able to do anything yet? Go to the Opera House or anything?
Not as of yet, because I'm working and hustling. I'm going to make my way to that tomorrow. We're going to do some stuff tonight here in a little while, because remember now it's getting on to like rush hour time in Munich. We did have, this is interesting, much the same way when JP rolls on the FanStream JP show internationally, we did have paparazzi at the airport, and they literally brought them out onto the tarmac where when we got off the plane, the NFL media and other media were there filming and taking photos of Tom Brady and Todd Bowles and company coming off the plane. So I thought that was kind of interesting on a cold Friday morning German time. About a 10-hour flight, JP, to get over here, but we are here. And I have posted on the FanStream JP show live from Munich. I have shown up for you boys.
I appreciate that. And what's the hotel like? Very nice and packed with Bucs fans.
It's an international upscale hotel. It's in an English-speaking area here, not far from the airport. The region or the area around us. Think of suburb, I guess, in the U.S. It's got a lot of English-speaking in it. If you go to a restaurant or I don't know if they're pubs or bars or what they consider them or what the German word is. Somebody's got to help me with that. So we are in that area. We're kind of secluded away from. I'm told we're like 40 minutes by car, about half that by train from downtown Munich. And I will go and explore a lot more tomorrow. Awesome. I'm doing some other work right now, Eastern time, Monday morning early, Friday morning early, Friday afternoon. And I'll be able to do a little bit tonight, but then I'll be able to do much more tomorrow, go sightsee. There are a bunch of Buccaneer fans that are getting here today, that have gotten here today, getting here tonight to be part of this. And I'm told Seattle is going to have a ton of folks too. Now, how many got their tickets? You would think if you got here, you got your tickets. Now, some may be getting the game tickets secondary market once they get here, and they're willing to just plunk down whatever. So we'll see how that goes.
Last question. What was the vibe of the team on the plane on the way over? Are they obviously coming off a win? Are they a little bit more loose, a little bit more fun? Like, what do we got?
There was definitely some pep in the step, and I got a couple of minutes for you here before I have to hustle back in. Listen, you and I have done a lot of bizarre things, but it was truly bizarre having to get down to One Buck Place yesterday morning because of the protocols with customs and the international flight. We had to take luggage down to One Buck Place to be checked during the tropical storm. So that was a bit chaotic.
Yeah.
I know you guys, you're familiar with One Buck Place from having been around there before, but you're trying to navigate to get over to the area where they were doing the luggage. And literally when I came back out, I was like Jim Cantori with my pants flapping in the wind and about got blown over like one of these. And I'm like, holy crap, what are we doing out in all of this?
How was the takeoff with that big transatlantic bird?
But thankfully, a lot of it moved out by later in the afternoon. And so when we left after 4:30 Eastern time, it was not bad. It was a little bumpy about probably 2 minutes into the flight. And you're going, oh, great. Is this going to be the whole way? But by that time, the storm had moved to North Florida and to Georgia. And I just saw a clip, by the way, for the record, only one English-speaking channel. There's actually an English-speaking international CNN, but they're doing news all over the world. So it's not even, they don't even have election stuff rolling there. Okay. German channels everywhere, French-speaking channels everywhere. And they did pipe in the NFL Network for us so I can see the NFL Network, and they were replaying the Panthers win. And I saw that the tropical storm got to Charlotte and was pouring down rain last night. So thankfully I wasn't standing in that last night for that game.
Yeah, game was awful. Well, good. Well, I just hope that this is, the Seattle team obviously is very, very confident. They're going to have a nice contingent there. They're on a roll. But hopefully this Bucs team is going to get back to enjoying themselves and playing, maybe this atmosphere, which is, I guess, more like a bowl game atmosphere will do that for them. What are you laughing at?
If you can see him in the background, security guy is walking around me trying to make sure what I'm doing and make sure that it's on the up and up. He just walked by a second ago. So I'm just laughing out here. Hey, look, I'm not a nefarious character. I don't know if that's a German word or not. But yeah, you're right. For this team, you want to take care of business. Seattle's had a very good year. They don't beat themselves. I mean, it's amazing that Geno Smith has had 5 games, as we talked about on your show earlier this week, of a 100 or better quarterback rating. He's been efficient. He's made the right throws. You got to make him uncomfortable coming in this game. And this team now has gone to a walkthrough, just so you know on the timeline. They are at Allianz Arena. That's what it's called. The stadium is called Allianz Arena, where Bayern Munich plays soccer. So they're getting their first look at that stadium, is my understanding, this afternoon, and doing the walkthrough for the game tomorrow. They'll be back at the hotel here probably in about an hour and a half, about 5:30 local time, give or take whatever that is. I'm all screwed up. What is that? 11? That's 11:30 Tampa time. They'll be back here. So they're there now, going through the walkthrough for about an hour, a normal walkthrough, and they were getting there were players here getting treatment. Can I tell you on the FanStream JP show, I was standing right beside Antoine Winfield. He's here. We're hoping we get a good update that he has cleared concussion protocol, because that's the key thing. So that he's here on the trip. So that would be a great, as we talked earlier in the week, that'd be a great help to the secondary, the run stopping, and maybe creating some turnovers in this game. So he's here. They're over there at the walkthrough. We're here in Germany. We're all good, brother. Nick, you got anything for me, brother?
What? Well, hold on.
Not sure if Nick's got anything. I think he's all good. He's not all plugged up. Okay. All right. We're all good. We're all good on this front. I saw you.
What's on the sightseeing menu for you? What do you want to go see in Munich?
So I want to go walk around. I want to go walk around and see the Hofbrauhaus, and there's a Buccaneer pep rally at one of those. I'll be by some of that and see the ambiance. But again, I think I shared this with you. I want to see where the Munich Olympics memorial is for the Israeli athletes. That was 50 years ago, JP. I know we're older. That was 50 years ago that horrific thing happened, and I want to see some of that and take in some of the ambiance. And by the way, they are crazy for Bundesliga soccer, obviously, and the soccer is on tonight and tomorrow. And I think Dortmund is playing, which is right by here. I don't know where Bayern Munich is playing as a road game, because the NFL obviously has the stadium. So they're going to go crazy with the soccer tomorrow, because I know some Buccaneer fans that are going to a Bundesliga game in the suburbs somewhere. So it's crazy. By the way, one more shot here of the sun setting behind me. I don't know how well you can see that, but that is the sun setting again at about 4:30 in the afternoon, Germany time. 11:30 Tampa time. So the late first half of the game, halftime of the game, sun will be setting in. We'll be under the lights at Allianz Arena, JP.
All right. We'll go get you some good German sausage, some beer, some Lederhosen, and all that.
Some schnitzel. We'll go get all of that.
Some schnitzel of everything. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us, man.
Just,
Giving us a little flavor. Appreciate it.
I'm just taking it all in. I wanted to give you some flavor. Keep knocking them dead there, and I'll report back next week. And we're looking forward to all of this on Buccaneers Radio. We're on early Sunday morning. We are on at 7 a.m. with the local pregame. You can hear it all over the Tampa Bay area, 98 Rock, the Buccaneer affiliates, Buccaneers mobile app. We're starting at 7 a.m. The network pregame show at 8:30 a.m. on Sunday morning to rock here from Germany. Looking forward to it, boys. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, TJ. Appreciate it. The great TJ Reeves right there, live from Munich. We take you where you need to go. That's pretty damn good right there. Thank you to TJ. I'm really looking forward to this game. We got a little setup at Palmacia, but we're playing golf on Sunday, the usual 1:00 tee time. Maybe we should do this every week because I don't get to play obviously during Bucs season for the most part. So we got they're setting up the big screen in the lounge at 9:30 to watch the game. So we get the big brunch, the Sunday brunch at Palmacia, which is amazing. And then we got the Bucs game, and we got some golf. It's supposed to be 72 and sunny this weekend. That's a good day.
That's a damn good day.
That's a good day. That's a really good day. As days go, if we can get a win, we can go beat a really good Seattle team. That'd be a really good day.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the 9:30. I'll take that any day over the 4:25. I hate the 4:25 games. That's nap time on a Sunday. 9:30.
9:30.
So
like once in a
coffee,
while.
Let's
like,
go.
Once in a while. Well, if you live on the West Coast, that's your thing. If you live on the West Coast, like NFL football starting at 9 or 10 o'clock every weekend.
See, that sounds a lot better in my opinion.
It's too early. It's too early for me. Let's just get rid of Thursday night football first. Can we just start with that?
Oh boy,
it's just the product is so horrific. It's so terrible.
Who thought
Last
when
night I tweeted this out at the beginning of the fourth quarter, maybe mid fourth quarter. Mariota completed 12 passes for 102 yards, and PJ Walker completed 8 for 97. These are professional football players. It's just awful to watch. The Bucs-Rams game, awful. An awful probably. We were laughing in the press box. It was so bad. I think there were 8 3-and-outs in that game. 8 or 9 3-and-outs in that game. Just stumbling, bumbling, probably 12 total drops in the game.
Yep.
Matthew Stafford missing guys that are wide open. I mean, it's not good defenses. That was just terrible football. It's striking. And when you watch college football on the weekends, these are the kids, the college kids. It's such a better product.
I feel like though it's
Am I
been like
wrong?
I feel like this year in the NFL the product has definitely diminished a little bit.
Big time.
The quarterback play has been just downright shocking in a lot of these games. But when you're scheduling this game, what are you expecting?
Yeah.
Like when you're a schedule maker, putting this game in, you're just throwing in the towel like it's Thursday, whatever. Like Al Michaels last night was trending, and it's like, is this what he signed up for? I don't know if I feel bad for him or not because he took a large paycheck to do it. But he's not even hiding it anymore on the broadcast.
Well,
how he feels.
At the end of the game, he was like, at least we got some good matchups coming up. And he started pimping the matchups that were coming up. And I was like, yeah, because this one is just
the viewership
awful.
since week one on Thursday Night Football just continues to plummet.
Yeah,
it rose up a little bit for Brady against the Ravens.
Right.
And it's gone right back down. I can't imagine what it could have been last night.
Brutal.
A rainy game, 2 awful quarterbacks. Again, the crowd noise.
Is just
either it was dead in the stadium or you don't have mics to mic up the crowd.
Yeah, which they've had issues with that all year long.
They've had issues all year long.
The broadcast just seems so dead. I mean, it's dead. I mean, Herb Street is not – obviously, I like Herb Street as an analyst. I think he's very smart. But he's, from a personality standpoint, he's very muted.
I just think he's a college – to me, I've been listening to him do college my entire life. When he does NFL,
I agree with him.
Disconnects me.
I agree with him 100%. 100%. I love his college. Him and Fowler – are just great together.
Yes.
I mean, it just feels like a big college football game. This feels
and I don't
like
think, and he's more like
Al Michaels is doing the games like he's just like, I don't even care.
Yeah, and
this is my swan
Herb Street's
song.
more like Mike Mello.
Yeah.
And obviously Al doesn't, he's not going to get too ramped up either. Fowler at least gets up a little bit. And so you complement each other.
Right.
So when you just have Al and Herb Street, you're just kind of one level the entire time.
Yeah. All right. We got to take a break. Quick break, 3-minute break. When we come back, Pat Burnham's going to join us from the Knowles 247 group, Osceola. We will chat with him about a big game For FSU, they are going up to play the Orange, who were once a top 10 team. They are no more. They've lost 3 in a row. Could this be a trap game for FSU? We will talk about it when we come back. We're brought to you by Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's #1 private investigation agency, and the Jeeves Law Group. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations and the Jeeves Law Group and Italiano Insurance as well. All right, let's talk some Florida State football. It's the Italiano Insurance FSU report with our good friend Pat Burnham of Knowles 247 and the Osceola. What's up, my friend?
We're actually rivals, JP. The Rivals Network.
I say that all the time. I'm so sorry, man.
Now we weren't 24/7, but we're rivals.
There's so many out there, man, and I just get confused. And you guys, can I just say the Osceola? Can I just that's the old brand that was?
Yeah, let's just go theosceola.com. Part of the
Osceola.com, exactly. You guys, that's the brand that endures forever. You guys have been on top of it since I was there with the great Jerry Kutz. So
1982, that's right.
1982, it goes back. I remember getting I would read that thing every week, the little pamphlet. Well,
it was a newspaper, yeah.
Newspaper, yeah. Man, I love that thing. It was chock full of great stuff. You could pick it up at all the different.
at the stop. What was that? The
Oh.
Sing stores. Remember the old Sing stores?
Yep.
Everywhere you go. All right, let's talk some football. He's over there. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I don't know.
I thought Nick may need a nap. I've never heard a 20-something-year-old say he needs a nap at 4:30 on Sunday. But that's
yeah,
I hate the four. Those suck. That's nap time.
Yeah, you're right. It is for me.
Absolutely. All right, so this is an interesting game. Well, first of all, let's wrap up the Miami win. Get your perspective on that. It was, we talked about this on your tailgate podcast yesterday. It was one of the best overall performances I've seen from Florida State in probably 6 years. It was dominant on both sides of the football. Reminded me a lot of the LSU game, except we scored a lot more. Yeah. Dominant on both sides of the ball, but converting in the explosive plays to Teofili and Trey Benson, which is my man's favorite player over here. Mike has got it going now. They're so explosive. They can hit you from any angle, so many different varieties. Jordan Travis is playing tremendous football. Just what's your overall thoughts on what you saw?
Well, I agree with you. They played the most complete game of the year. You mentioned the offense and defense, but obviously special teams was sharp. You had Matt Romano, all three of his punts ended up pinning the Canes inside the 20. One of those led to a short field score for Florida State as they forced a 3 and out. But listen, that game, you could say it was didn't. At 31-3, it was over at halftime. It probably was, but to be honest with you, it was probably over before that. I don't think anybody expected that going into the game. I thought that a lot of people thought Florida State might blow them out. But listen, you can say what you want about it. Florida State came out ready to play. The other team did not, and Florida State just wiped out Miami. I mean, it was as impressive a win given who they were playing, meaning a rivalry game, than they've had all year. And now we've seen Florida State blow out inferior opponents in back-to-back weeks, which was part of taking care of business, and another sign that this program is maturing under Mike Norvell.
And we talk about the defense, too. Now this is the second week that Lovett has been back, Fabian Lovett in the middle, and Jared Verse is getting better and better and better. I saw a comparison of his numbers and Jermaine Johnson's numbers from last year, and everybody said, well, Jared Verse is going to be good, but he won't be as good as Jermaine Johnson. Whoa, wait a minute. His numbers are up there. And with those two guys, is FSU the best team of the conference, as they said on the ACC huddle the other night, with those guys in there? Look, they look pretty good.
I think they're the hottest team in the conference. They lost 3 games. Clemson's lost 1. They lost to Clemson. So I'm not going to sit here and say they're the best team in the conference. They didn't beat NC State. NC State's found a quarterback now, the true freshman. So, listen, yes, they're the hottest team in the conference. Are they the best team in the conference? Record indicates otherwise. But, listen, it's kind of like Coach Bowden used to say, you want to be playing your best football at the end of the year, and that's what Florida State is doing.
All right, so let's look at this game with Syracuse. Syracuse was obviously into the top 10, and they've lost 3 in a row now, and they lost, I think, 3 interior defensive linemen. They suddenly cannot stop the run. Last few weeks, they're giving up over 200 a game, and here comes FSU, probably the best running team, most explosive running team in the nation. And when you go on the road, what travels? Running game, right? Running game, take the crowd out
defense,
and defense, absolutely. So is that the recipe for FSU to win this game and take the crowd out of it on senior day up there?
Well, you've got to think that it is. I mean, listen, it's what Florida State does well. The one thing Syracuse is good at on defense is not allowing big plays. They're one of the best defenses in the nation, is particularly against the pass, where they're first in plays allowed over 20 yards, which is FSU's 8th in that category offensively. So you would assume that Florida State's going to attack their weak points, right? That's what you do as a coach. They, like you said, they have given up over 245 yards 2 times in the last 3 games. And the other game last week against Pitt, they gave up over 160. They are beat up on the defensive line. They have 2 really good linebackers, and they got some good kids in the secondary, although they're going to be without Garrett Williams, who is going to be a future NFL corner. But yes, I think that's the way you go. I mean, listen, you're going to have all 3 of your running backs healthy. They did not have to play Trayshawn last week because of the dominance at Miami. But it certainly seems that Trey Benson has found his role in this offense as it's gotten larger and larger. And this offensive line, it just continues to get better. You saw, Robert Scott was a little bit healthier last week than he had been in previous weeks. You could tell that by the way he was running down the field. Darius Washington moved to right tackle or started at right tackle, was very impressive. And they seem to have gelled. And obviously, Mike's done a good job of producing run plays ever since he got here. And now he's got the horses to produce more of them than he ever has before.
Pat Burnham joining us here from the Osceola, Osceola.com. Go check it out. We got our podcast coming out. I made a brief appearance there yesterday, so it's always fun and entertaining. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Jordan Travis here. I thought against Miami, well, that throw to Toafili where he got there was a free runner, I think, right up the middle. And he got rid of that ball quickly, took a big shot too, but just delivered it like perfectly. I was like, man, this cat can, when he's healthy and he's on it, he's as good as there is. And I thought he played tremendous football. The throw to Pokey Wilson to get things going was just a perfect deep ball that set the tone for the whole game. Talk a little bit about how Jordan played.
Well, listen, obviously he was 10 of 12, 3 touchdowns off the 10 of those completions. Listen, he's found his place in this offense. And look, he's done a terrific job. Tony Tokarts and Mike Norvell have done a terrific job in his development, but it's no coincidence that he's got guys like Johnny Wilson and Micah Pittman and Trey Benson and Lawrence Toafili and the best offensive line that he's had since he's been here around him. Those things go hand in hand, right? He is surrounded by as much talent as he has been since he's been here. He's third year into the system, Mike's system. So some of this is natural, right? His development has natural, but he has certainly benefited from the other 10 guys on the field with him. And I don't think that can be overstated. You mentioned Lawrence Toafili. He's had over 115 yards total offense in the last 3 games, each of the last 3 games. He's led the team in receptions. So he's got the pieces that he's working with have certainly helped his development in addition to what he's done as becoming better and better with each and every rep. But certainly, listen, it's been a team effort on offense. I don't think Jordan is playing with confidence. And of course, you always love the way Jordan plays because he's such a warrior. He plays hard. Listen, we see him get up slowly a couple times a game, and he shakes it off and keeps going. But what they have done with Jordan from when they got here has been, really. And listen, they have not had to use him in the run game, and he's had, most of his success is coming with his arm, right? I mean, he's the fourth leading rusher on the team. That has not been the case the previous years. But yeah, certainly he's got a lot of weapons. I think 4 guys with over 20 catches. You throw in Cam McDonald, I think he's got 16 or 17 catches. He's able to spread the ball out to a lot of guys this season, and that was not the case the last 2 years. He didn't have a go-to person. He was the go-to guy in the Florida State offense.
The only guy.
Right.
And we saw that clip there in that Miami game, by the way. I think it was Deuce Spann who came off the field, and he was pretty heated, right? And then Norvell got in his face, and, they went after it a little bit. And then it looked like Norvell calmed him down. And then after the game, he's like, I just told him we love him. Like, we need you, yada, yada, yada. I mean, it was like one of those examples where everybody was like, that's coaching, right? And a lot of guys were saying, we haven't had that in a while. It's just another example, year 3 of the culture changing, right?
Yeah, well, listen, those things are going to happen. It's football, and it doesn't happen much anymore, and we don't see it a lot. And, the way they practice has changed. They're not as physical as they used to be. But, yes, listen, when JP and I were playing, that was commonplace, right? The only thing we did not see is Mike snatches. If it had been 20 years ago, his face mask would have gotten snatched. But, yeah, listen, coaches are going to – that's what they're paid to coach. Bullets are flying on Saturdays and Sundays. Things get said and done that, you got to be able to put behind you and move on. And I was glad to see that Mike went over after they had their initial conversation, or wasn't much of a conversation, but anyway. And then, of course, he got the ball to him the first snap of the next series. So, maybe Mike realized he had overreacted a little bit, and that was his way of saying, I'm sorry. But no, listen, that's part of it, and certainly the fact that it's fun to see that Mike is holding the players accountable, even in those situations where the game was over. It was a teachable moment. He made a selfish mistake on the field, and Mike was just making sure that did not happen again.
which is great because the past coach really didn't do that very often, and it kept happening. That's how it's supposed to work.
Okay.
All right, Pat, great stuff. Tell everybody about your content, where they can get it, and
yeah, you can go to theosceola.com or floridastaterivals.com, but it's easier to go to theosceola.com. JP joined us on our Osceola tailgate yesterday, which is up and running. We have a Know Your Enemy video / podcast where Ben Axel from Syracuse Radio, ESPN, comes on and gives us a great insight into Syracuse. They are expecting Garrett Schrader to play, according to him. And of course, but we've got our written preview, our video preview, but theosceola.com. And JP, I enjoy it as always, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Enjoy watching the game this week. Going to be fun. Prime time on the ACC network. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into some hockey. Eric Erlinson is going to join us, double E's. And the Lightning get set for a game tonight at Washington. Then we'll host the Caps on Sunday. So a little bit of home and home action here. We are brought to you by Emerging Investigations, the Jeeves Law Group, and the FSU Report, which we just heard, was brought to you by Italiano Insurance. The good folks at Italiano say, give them a call, 813-877-7799. Do your annual insurance checkup. Just call them. They will check all your insurance. They'll shop it around and maybe save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Home, auto, business, all your insurance needs, it's Italiano Insurance. All right, back at 3 with Eric Erlinson. Stay with us. Was your car totaled in an accident? Did your insurance company use Kelley Blue Book or NADA to appraise the value of your car? Chances are they didn't, and you got shorted maybe thousands of dollars. Call the Jeeves Law Group for a free case evaluation because your insurance company may still owe you money. 727-894-2929. It's a free call, so why not find out if you have a case? Insurance companies have been running this scam for a while, and most folks don't know if they've been shorted. Trust me. Scott Jeeves is a different kind of attorney, the kind insurance companies hate to go up against. He could recover thousands of dollars, so why not call? 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell them JP sent you.
JP here for Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's premier investigation agency. Do you suspect your spouse is cheating or involved in a divorce, that your spouse is hiding money, an ex-employee or current employee with suspicious behavior? Is there a criminal matter you need help with? If you need information you can count on, using the professionals at Emerging Investigations is a slam dunk. Emerging Investigations is a licensed and insured private investigation agency, family-owned. Emerging is your ideal resource to secure evidence and validation, allowing you to make informed decisions in life's industry agencies and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT-3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by American Mortgage Services. Scott Reynolds. Boy, I'm just killing it this morning on with my brain here. Scott Fitzgerald from American Mortgage Services. He will be joining us at 11:45. Talk a little real estate. What's going on in the market? Stuff's crazy right now. So if you're thinking you're going to buy a house or maybe looking to invest in real estate, maybe see where the market goes, will there be opportunities? He is the guy to know it and talk to about it. So we'll check with him at 11:45. And we appreciate his sponsorship as well. All right, let's tap into another great mind here, Eric Erlinson, covering the Lightning for decades now and the best in the business. What's up, Double E's? How are you, my friend?
I'm good, JP. Nick, what's going on, boys?
He's here and ready. And
here we go. Doing great. Lightning tonight in Washington.
Hey, I was going to ask you, I know you're a huge international soccer fan, and the Bucs are playing over there in Byron, Bayern Munich's stadium, and I think they're even taking in a Bundesliga game tonight. Compare the passion for NFL here to the passion to Premier League soccer and international soccer, the Bundesliga, etc. What do you think? What's
you think
more
NFL
rabid?
fans have passion?
That's what I was trying to.
Go over
I
to
was
England.
setting you up for.
You think some Bucs fans don't like the Glazers? Go over to Manchester and see how they feel about the Glazers over there and everything else. It's it's unrivaled in sports. Especially European football. Man, they've had how many protests and they really kind of drive things over there, and like they can really force change. That's how much passion that there is, and sometimes it's too much passion, right? Like you've heard the hooligans, and especially in English soccer and everything. So yeah, there's the passion for European football over there is just beyond compare to this country, and we love our football here, right? Especially the NFL and college football, but I think it pales in comparison to what goes on over there.
Oh, no question. And we got the World Cup coming up in November, which is weird. The U.S. team just put their side out there. There were a couple omissions. You would care to do any critiquing on the U.S. team?
Well, we'll start with the keepers because, the whole talk over the past year or so was who was going to be the starter, Zach Steffen or Matt Turner. And Zach Steffen's not even on the team, which was a surprise. And, Zach Steffen, he's owned by Man City. They loaned him out to get him some playing time this year, and he's had a good year, I think, in the Championship League in England, but he's not even on the squad, which is a surprise. And, they have Jeremy Peacock is a terrific striker. I believe he plays in the Netherlands. He's had a great year, and he's not on the team, and I think that's left some people scratching their heads over somebody like Jordan Morris, who, Jordan Morris is 28 years old now, and he's come off a couple of ACL injuries. He finally got over to England to play in the Premier League, and he, blew out his knee right away. So he hasn't had a ton of playing time. He's come back recently, but sometimes the choices to take a guy like Jordan Morris over a guy like Peacock is a little surprising to me.
I was just about to say that. I'm like, I don't know what Jordan Morris is providing at this point. No Ricardo Pepi as well, but I guess it's a good problem when you have some good youngsters who are not on there, because the depth of the squad is probably as good as it's been in a long time.
Yeah, it's good that we can have those conversations, right? We talk more about who was left off and not necessarily who's on. I just hope Jordan Morris doesn't turn into Chris Wondolowski, who was on that team in 2014 for one reason, and that was to score that overtime goal against Belgium, and he didn't deliver.
Yeah, I put him in like the Jazzy Zardez's of the world, all those the MLS guys. I think we're past that point. I think we're past that point as a nation.
I just love when you guys talk soccer. I do love the World Cup, and I'd like to see the U.S. Give us some thrilling moments. And they start with England, right?
Wales.
On Black
Wales,
Friday.
Wales, yeah.
They start with Wales. Oh, that one they played in to get into the World Cup. So,
week Monday is when the U.S. plays their first game.
Wow, that's going to be fun. All right, let's talk some Lightning now. John Cooper shaking up the power play, which obviously is probably something that needed to be done. Victor Hedman moves to the second unit, and Sergei moves up to the top. Is this a little bit about? I sense that maybe Hedman has an injury that is not allowing him to handle the puck maybe as well as he has in the past. He hasn't played as well since he came back from that injury. What do you think's going on here?
Well, when you give up 3 shorthanded goals on a 4-game homestand, something's not going right. And I know Victor missed a couple of those games. But I think look, we know Victor missed a couple of games, so we know he's dealing with something. Probably a shoulder situation, like he's not shooting the puck either. Like even you watch him in practice, he's not shooting it as much. So you don't wonder if he's dealing with something that's kind of limiting him in that capacity. But I think the changes here too are as much to kind of just give a little bit of a fresh look, because when those couple of games that Victor Hedman did miss, Mikhail Sergachev did take over the number 1 power play, and they moved the puck well, and they produced. They had a couple of goals in that time that he was on there. Wasn't the greatest showing. They did give up a couple of shorthanded goals with Sergachev back there, and he was the guy on that 5-minute power play against Ottawa that they didn't produce. So it's kind of got the good and the bad there, but this gives a little bit of a different feel. Sometimes you get stale and static, especially when Kucherov, Stamkos, Point, and Hedman have been together for so long. It just kind of breaks up that static a little bit. And the other part of the change too is Brandon Hagel, goes from number 2 power play to number 1 power play. He was on that left circle on the number 2 power play. He's going to move down to the net front retrieval area, and I think that can help too, because there's been a lot of one and dones with their power play, which tells you that they're not retrieving the puck when they don't, when the shot gets on goal, they're not somebody there to kind of get the puck back. And I think Brandon Hagel can add that. He's got some quickness to his game, more so than Alex Killorn for sure. Probably a little bit more than Vlad Nemestikov too, who has been working with that number 1 unit. So we'll see if they're able to get some better puck retrieval with Brandon Hagel down low.
And on the same vein of stars kind of struggling, I never thought I would look at Andre Vasilevsky and see him approaching a 3 goals against average. And I look at the other night against Edmonton. I know the first goal was a really good shot by Foegele, but I think Vasilevsky would probably make that save more often than not. I thought the backhander from Draisaitl, although he was a world-class player, I thought that might have been a little bit of a softie. I mean, I know he's played a lot of hockey, obviously, over the years, like these guys all have, but is it fair to say they're just not getting the best out of him right now also?
That's fair. We're waiting for Andre Vasilevsky to have one of those Andre Vasilevsky games. And look, he's had a couple early in the year where, he saw 55 shots against Carolina, right? So he's had a couple of those games, but the consistency of his game hasn't been there. And, is it early season situation because he has played so much hockey? But we're seeing him getting beat by long range shots more so than we have in the past, including that, the shorthanded goal the other night by Roland Foegele. Too many of those are going in against him right now. He's been really good down low, as he usually is, with the pucks in tight, but it's a long range shot, so he's just got to be better at. And whether that's the blocker side or glove side, I mean, teams. Look, the only way to be Andre Vasilevsky is to go high. So I know there's a lot of quote unquote criticism about, hey, he's got a weakness there. It's not necessarily a weakness. It's just that's where everybody shoots because they know they're not going to beat him down low.
Right.
So he just has to be a little bit quicker in making sure he can get up to those areas and cover them a little bit better. But it's rare to see him, a month into the season. First and foremost, I think he's only got one more win than Brian Elliott, which is probably surprising. If you would have said that at this point of the season, you thought maybe the team would be in trouble, but they're not. And the other thing is he just needs to be more consistent with his game and just give them that effort to keep him in games. And he's done that for good spurts of this season, just not consistently enough.
Eric Erlitzen joining us here. And I hate to even bring this up, but I see it a little bit on social media and also and nationally as well. There's been talk that, okay, the Lightning, they're out of their window. Like they're not competitive anymore. They're on the downside. I think that's a national take. I think it's ridiculous because they've signed the guys that they just recently signed are young players. And we just forget that Sergei's been playing for 5-6 years. Braden Point is still very, very young. Sorelli's coming back. Bogosian's coming back. I don't think this window is closing. I think the core is still here. They've got to find some combinations, maybe on the blue line. They've got time to do that. I mean, Hagel has found his spot. My God, that top line, hard to play any better than they've been playing. What would you say to that narrative?
I think it's a lazy narrative.
Yeah.
It's too easy to look. I mean, look, we know. I mean, both Victor Hedman and Steven Stamkos and Alex Killorn, who have been here for a long time, are on the north side of 30 now.
Yep.
But Steven Stamkos just had the best offensive season of his career last year. Victor Hedman had the best offensive season of his career last year. The window is wide open. Certainly, they've lost players through attrition, right? In the cap casualties with McDonough and Palat specifically this year. Jan Ruda, those are 3 guys that played a lot of minutes for this team over the past handful of years. But this is where you really have to appreciate the job that Julien Brisebois and the staff there have done. Jamie Pusher, the pro scouting director, to find players like Brandon Hagel, to find players like Nick Paul who come in. Hagel's 23 years old. Nick Paul's 27 years old. Anthony Sorelli's 24 years old. Mikhail Sergachev, 24 years old. Nick Pervik's 24 years old. This is not a group like the Penguins with Letang and Crosby and Malkin, who are 34, 35 years old now, aging together with a piecemeal roster below them.
Right.
This is a team with Stamkos still at the peak of his career, Hedman still at the peak of his career, but you have all the guys I just mentioned on the young side. Do they have any blue chip prospects? They do not, and that's just the result of the success that they've had. So they don't have those players coming up that are going to kind of take over the skill positions, if you will. You got to come in with the guys like Cole Koepke, who is a good player. He can play in the NHL. Is he going to give you 20 goals? Probably not, but he could. because Ross Colton did, and we thought the same thing about Ross Colton. So
That's right.
this window is wide open, especially as long as you got 88 in net, you've always got a chance.
100%. All right, before you go, a little preview of this Washington home and home series. Ovi keeps setting records, and he's still shooting with volume as he always does. This is a good Capitals team that beat the Oilers the other night at 5-4. Tell me, what do you see from the Caps?
They're battling injuries. It looks like both Dmitry Orlov and John Carlson, who have missed the past couple of games, they're on the ice this morning up there. Looks like they're going to be in. Peter Laviolette, believe it or not, is in COVID protocol. He's not going to coach tonight or Sunday's game, so he won't be behind the bench. And look, they've got injuries. Nicholas Backstrom's out. Tom Wilson is out. Some of their top players are out of the lineup. Their goaltending is completely different. They brought in Darcy Kemper, who was with Colorado last year, to be their number one. And he's got, okay numbers. They're not great numbers. But you always got Ovechkin, and, he's piling up the points. He's piling up the goals. And if you're going to beat Washington right now, do not let them get on the power play, because Ovechkin is such a weapon still over there that you got to make sure you stay out of the box. And when you go on the power play, just don't give up a shorthanded goal tonight.
For God's sakes, please, no more shorties. All right, Double E's, appreciate it, my friend. We'll be listening for you on the pregame show. Tell us where all your content is and where folks can sign up for Lightning Insider.
Yeah, lightninginsider.com is a website. First thing you see is how to sign up. There's a yearly plan. There's a monthly plan. The podcast is out. Just search for Lightning Insider wherever you get your podcasts. And then you mentioned the pregame skate show, me and Chief, 1 hour before every game on the Strike 102.5 HD Channel 2. You can also find it Lightning Radio 24/7 on the TuneIn Network.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll see you on Sunday. Thanks, man.
Okay. Thanks,
Appreciate
boys.
The great Double E's, Eric Erlinson, knows all things soccer. Used to coach you in soccer. We need to.
Team manager in soccer, alongside Mama Geddes.
Wow, there was a whole family effort.
A whole family effort.
You're still a little ticked off that he doesn't acknowledge your greatness and how good you were.
No, I mean I like to think that I was one of the better of a let's just say not the best bunch. Put it that way.
No, that's it. That's good. If you're the best player, you're supposed to lift all boats.
I can only
to make everybody better.
I could as a chubbier than usual 13-year-old who played a game that's predicated on running. No, I was not uplifting anybody. I was more concerned with not cramping up myself.
Oh my God, so funny.
I had a quick story actually, real quick.
Yeah,
you want to know how undisciplined of an athlete I was as a kid?
Ooh, I can't wait to hear it.
So we would have double headers a lot, like tournaments and stuff like that. We were doing a tournament out there by Sickles, I think Citrus Park, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We had a game at 7:30 in the morning, and we had a game at 2:30. So we had a layoff there.
Right.
We went to a Red Robin, I think, for lunch, like the team did.
Right.
And everybody's getting salads and all that kind of stuff, and light, And what does my ass do? Buffalo chicken sandwich.
Oh, there you go. Get fried. Get it fried too.
Fried buffalo
Heavy
chicken
fried.
sandwich with fries.
Yeah, with fries. Yeah. The lunch of champions.
No.
You're really going to need.
And my mom really should have just told me no,
Yeah.
but she didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm eating that, and everybody else eating salads. And that just shows you kind of how undisciplined I was. And what happened before the game started in warmups, I got a bad cramp. And I missed about majority of the game because I couldn't hardly run.
Yeah,
so there's your undisciplined Nick, as I was.
Your digestive system was using all the blood to get that fried chicken sandwich out of your Yeah, it was not a good call.
No, it was not.
It was not a good call. No.
So that sums up my athletic
selfish.
career.
That's not being a team player right there. That's being really selfish. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, the Rays have traded away not traded away, but they've traded one fan favorite, and another one has been released. No more G-Man Choi, no more Kevin Kiermaier. What is this team going to look like? There are national stories out there that the Rays are going to sign a bunch of big fish. That's a good one. We'll talk about that, and we'll also hear from Byron Leftwich as the Bucs get set to take on Seattle. Stay with us.
JP here for Italiano Insurance. If you've started a side hustle during COVID and the business has grown, well, you need business insurance, because if you get sued, you could lose all your personal wealth if you're not properly protected. That's right. Your home, your savings, everything could go. So get protected now. Call the great agents at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799, and a real human will answer the phone and get you protected. If you haven't shopped your business insurance in a while, you could be overpaying by thousands. One customer had their golf buddy handling his business insurance, then called Italiano to shop it around, and they saved him $26,000 a year. Yeah. So call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Italiano Insurance, protecting all the pieces of your life for over 60 years. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We're brought to you in our second hour by Bay Area Modern Medical Center and the Jeeves Law Group, jeeveslawgroup.com. If you have been involved in an auto accident, of course, you've got to get an attorney and a representative. Insurance companies do not like it when you're represented by the Jeeves Law Group. Nope, because Scott Jeeves is very aggressive when it comes to defending his clients. Let's just put it that way. And you'll get a better settlement and you'll have it handled. So if you get injured in an accident or you're in an accident, pick up the phone, call Scott Jeeves, jeeveslawgroup.com. Please tell him JP sent you. Also, if you have had your car totaled over the past couple of years and maybe you didn't get as much money as you thought you should get, you may have a case. So give them a call and maybe they can recover some money for you. And the insurance company will have to pay those legal fees. So you're not going to, there is no risk involved here. So give them a call and you may have a case. Normally, these insurance companies do short you because they're supposed to pay for everything, tax, tag, all those things that you need done to replace your car. So if you've been through that process, and I have, and usually you have to come out of pocket for a lot of money, there's ways to fix that. So go to the jeeveslawgroup.com and see if they can fix it for you. Tell them JP sent you. All right, so the Bucs are in Munich. We had TJ Reeves on earlier today. They will go through a walkthrough today, and hopefully this team will be on they need to put together a complete football game. There's no question about that for the first time. This offense has struggled mightily even last week. Even though they got the win, it was not pretty. They only scored 16 points against the Rams. It was enough, but it was not pretty. There's still a lot of issues with this football team. The good news is they're getting Antoine Winfield back. Last week they got Akeem Hicks back. This defense is getting better. But this is a Seattle team that is young. They're playing free. They're playing with house money. Geno Smith has been a great story, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. You want to play a little Byron Leftwich before we get to by the way, Doug Wechter's going to join us at 11:15 to talk Rays. As we say goodbye to G-Man Joy and Kevin Kiermaier. Talk about that in a second. Here's Byron on Zoom yesterday with his favorite people.
First question will come from Scott Reynolds.
Is that a creamsicle hat with the red? That's a cool hat.
Little cool hat, yeah.
I really like that.
Hey, Coach, just wanted to get your thoughts on the red zone offense. Again, you scored the touchdown when it counted. It was good enough to win the game, but point production still become an issue. I noticed that you ran the ball on 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Just kind of give me your thoughts on what was the line of thinking on that play and why the red zone production just has continued to struggle.
Well, the line of thinking was the score on that play. It didn't go that way. It didn't go in our favor. So we had to kick the field goal. Obviously, we game plan every week. We try to put ourselves in position to get into the best play possible. We just didn't do a good job of executing there. And we just got to be better in the red zone. We have to be better. Things that we're working on, we believe we'll get better in the near future.
I listened to that yesterday, and I actually burst out laughing. What was the logic on the play call? Well, we were trying to score. Man, wow. Very insightful. I know you're trying to score, Byron, but I want to know why you think you're going to score with the worst running attack since 1970 on a 3rd and 2 after your passing game got you all the way down there.
And they have literally nine men in the box. And your 2 tight ends, you got literally 18, 19 people within 15 yards of wide and 5. And if you have a great offensive line and you can get push, you might be able to do that. But this is anything but that.
It really is comical at this point.
I guess because how do you defend? You can't defend it.
Again, he leaves me speechless. All you can do is laugh.
Can't you just because people make mistakes, and we understand you make mistakes.
Just tell me it was a bad play call.
It's like, man, that was a terrible call. I've heard coaches say that all the time.
I have. I really have.
Oh, yeah, that was a terrible. Todd Bowles has said it about the call against the Rams. That was a bad call. And then you make bad calls, it's fine. But like making mistakes is one thing, but like not acknowledging them and not like just weird. Let's get
also to the play of left tackle Donovan Smith. How do you feel that's gone this year? I know everybody probably can improve across the board, but give me your thoughts on what you're seeing from Donovan Smith in his film.
I think we all got to be better. I think we all got to be better as a group. I think we can coach it better. I think we can play it better. And that's just what we got to do to move to the next step if we want to get to where we want to get to as an offense. We're all aware of it. It's been brought to everybody's attention what we need to do going forward as an offense moving forward. So we're excited till we get the next opportunity.
I thought we were asking a question about Donovan Smith there.
We were.
And we turned into a whole different spiel.
We all got to be
like
better.
If I'm writing a story on Donovan Smith and I get limited time with the coaches and I ask a question about Donovan Smith, I got that answer. Can I even write the story anymore?
No. We all got to be better.
We all got to be better.
Yeah.
Again, we just can't. I'm not telling you got to call out and play like, yeah, he's not playing well, whatever. But like, what is that? It's not even an answer to the question.
Yeah, I mean, because
it's just weird.
It's clear that he's got issues with his right arm. It's heavily wrapped up. He hurt his elbow. He's playing. But you could say it. It's not, like you're not giving away any trade secrets here. I mean, they can turn on the film too. He's getting beat to the inside because his arm is injured. You could say that. Everybody sees it. I mean, you don't think Pete Carroll knows that? You don't think they've seen it and they know it? And you can't here's an opportunity to say, man, guys play hurt in this league, and Donovan Smith is just, he's gritting and he's gritting it out. And he is really, he's trying to play as hard as he can. I mean, you can praise him because that's what's going on. By the way, I heard a great story yesterday about Donovan Smith. I don't have a whole lot of time. Well, real quick. So they went out for a dinner at Hat Tricks, the whole offensive line. Went out for a dinner. Guys at Hat Tricks were like, hey, come on over. it'd be nice to have them all in. They all went in there, and there were fans who were like, "Oh my God, look at these huge guys coming in," And Donovan Smith kind of, he told the manager, he said, "Hey, I want to take care of the bill and everything, and just, and he's like, no, we're good here. We just want you guys to come on in and have it." He goes, "All right, well, charge me for something so I can tip the staff." He tipped the staff $1,000.
Donovan Smith.
Yeah, tipped the staff $1,000, and he doesn't want this out there. Sorry, Donovan, but I want it out there. And he went over to the young players and say, "Don't worry, guys. But thank the staff. Make sure you thank the manager. Make sure you leave a little something for the manager." He's like, and for the staff, I took care of them for the most part. But if you guys, if you can, to the rookies who don't have a lot of money." But he was like really, and he was, kind of being that leader of this group. Like, he's the leader, and it was important to him to make sure those guys know to be respectful and take care of everybody.
I mean, yeah,
that's cool.
I'd rather cover those stories, to be honest.
Yeah,
I know you said he didn't want it out there, but I'd much rather get those good news out there because we don't get enough of that.
Yeah.
We just don't.
Yeah. And that's, that money that means a lot to those people.
Yes.
That means a lot to those people. And Donovan Smith is a great dude. And I know a lot of us have been on him since his rookie year when he was just really, really inconsistent, but we're just criticizing his play. I've always said this about Donovan. I love the guy. I've interacted with him many, many times, and he's the best. Yep. He is the best. Funny dude, super smart, has taken his game to another level, and he is a huge asset for this team.
Yeah. Before we get to Doug here, I just wanted to I went all the way to the end here because I believe this was the final question, was about what Brady said about the embarrassing effort.
Okay, cool.
I think this is it.
The last question comes from Kevin O'Donnell.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is Kevin finally.
Hey, Byron. Tom said on his podcast this week, he said really the most embarrassing part of the team this season has been the effort level on game day. He didn't say execution. He said effort level. Did that get your attention? And is that something you've been witnessing?
Well, it hasn't been every down. We've had downs where we can be better from an effort standpoint. It's been addressed. And I think we can get better. And that's what I mean about what we can fix. I think we can fix all the things that's been in our way throughout the year. Obviously, it's been a tough beginning of the year. A lot of things that's been going on. So as I think we're beginning to settle down, we're getting more into football mode, more aware of what we need to do. And that's we can't be talking effort. We can't be talking effort from really anybody, especially this time of year. We understand that, and that's why we're excited to get the opportunity to go out here and play this week.
That was a pretty good answer. I like that one.
Yeah, that was a good answer from him.
Yeah. He said, yeah, we need to be better, and this is an opportunity to be better. And I think, I'm really interested to see how this team plays this week. They understand that it's a critical time. They need their best right now. This is a really good team. There have been signs of emergence of a lot, to fixing a lot of these things. And as Byron said, effort is the one thing you could definitely fix. And let's see a better effort. They're going to need it.
Yeah, and after last night, this is a chance now. I think Atlanta's clearly going back down, back down to earth. Nobody else is threatening in this division. Get some comfort room between you and the next team, because now you got sole possession of first place. Let's build some wins here.
And the guys were saying last night on the broadcast, they were saying, like, this is Tom's division, and this is time when his teams take off. So let's see it.
Yeah,
let's see it. You got the win last week. Let's see it. You build on it. All right, quick break. When we come back, Doug Wechter's going to join us. We're going to talk some Rays baseball as they trade away G-Man Choi. Kevin Kiermaier has been released. So what's next for the Rays? Where do they go? Are they going to be big spenders? We'll talk to Doug Wechter. Always a great guest when we return. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for
According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Scott Fitzgerald, who just walked in. We'll be talking to him a little bit later on about real estate and real estate investing. Heck, our next guest is a real estate agent as well. They're everywhere. The great Doug Wechter from Bally Sports Sun, who covers the Rays and played for the Rays and is just the greatest dad because I love watching all your stuff on social media, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. You've been taking some trips with the kids. I can't get enough of you need a freaking reality show is what you need. That's what you need.
No, man.
The Wechters.
I think the last thing I need is a reality show. I'm not saying we would have plenty of content. Yes. I just don't know if I want all that content out there.
I know what you're saying, brother. Can you imagine cameras following you 24/7? Hell,
I think that would be just awful. I couldn't. That is not me, man.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, it's one of those things. I'm still getting used to social media. Like, I gotta remind myself to post some stuff every once in a while. And I mean, for people to do reality shows and all that, I don't know. I don't know how they get it done.
Well, you have to be a special kind of crazy to want that. You know, to just want that attention and want every part of your life out there on Front Street. Like, hell no, not me. No, thank you. Not that anyone would care, but no, thank you. All right, so let's talk about some fan favorites going away. Your man, G-Man, everybody's man. We love G-Man Choi, but I think we can all say that the diminished performance in the second half, tough to bring him back at about $4.5 million. You got some guys maybe behind him, younger guys, Paredes, Aranda, that maybe you want to play first base. So I guess this was kind of a logical move, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think halfway through the season of last year, if you would ask a lot of the people around, the whole Rays franchise and organization, I think the writing was kind of getting on the wall, right? I think G-Man Choi had a good run with Tampa Bay. Everybody loves him here. He's a fan favorite, like you were talking about. But, it comes a time when, the window starts to close for everybody and not just G-Man, but, that's where it was with G-Man. I mean, look, his production was off till the second half of the season. He started out pretty good, but, just wasn't producing offensively the way they needed him to. And they do have a couple young prospects. I think Jonathan Aranda is really intriguing to me. And they got to find a way to get this kid at bats, almost every game because, he's just one of those pure hitters that hit at every single level. And when he got to the big leagues, he continued to hit. And they got to find a spot for him, They got to find a spot, whether it's at first base, it's on defense somewhere, or DH. But they got to get some at-bats for him. Paredes, like you were talking about. And I mean, these guys are coming up, and they got to make some room for him. So Aranda, I think we're going to see a lot more of him. And obviously, G-Man with the trade, he's out. Kevin Kiermaier, guy you just mentioned, long time, most tenured guy on the Rays. He's been a guy we've been able to talk about and see highlights of for, oh my gosh, I mean, how long has he been here? 8 years, 7, 8, 9 years.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic career with the Rays. He'll go down as one of the most iconic Rays just because of everything he did on the field. But yeah, it's one of those things where I think toward the end of last year, I mean, it was pretty obvious that the Rays were thinking about making a move like like we just saw. I mean, we saw a tribute video to KK last year. That right there will show you where their minds were in the situation on what they were going to do with him. But that being said, Kiermaier is just one of those special talents and special guys that franchises they're lucky to have. And his time is up with the Rays, but I still think he's got some good baseball left, and we'll see him somewhere else.
Yeah, I think with Kiermaier, I don't know the odds of a 31st round pick getting to the big leagues and then becoming an everyday player and then becoming one of the greatest outfielders probably this game has ever seen a platinum Gold Glove winner, but that was Kevin Kiermaier. And I did love, we got the end of the season, the stuff where he was out at the Trop, signing autographs, like all the tribute videos, because as Rays fans, it happens a lot. We don't get to say goodbye to our guys a lot. David Price traded mid-season. The Longo trade kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, all of our stars kind of leave and we don't get a chance to say goodbye. So we got that with Kevin Kiermaier. But with that being said, his entire tenure here, he has faced probably some more criticism that he's probably deserved from Rays fans. You feel like he's probably underrated a little bit by this fan base for what he did here for 8 years?
That's an interesting question. I think Kevin Kiermaier, just going over his career, I think, he was a low draft pick, and I think it worked out perfect. He was a perfect match for what Tampa Bay Rays needed and wanted from a player. They needed a Gold Glove defender who can put together an average that can justify, having him out there every day. I think you could even ask Kevin, he's not going to be one of those guys who go out there and consistently hit 300 for you. That's not his strength. His strength is protecting runs, saving runs defensively, and then put enough offense up to where he is a factor in the game. And the Rays saw the potential in that, and they saw the quality in that and the value of it. And that's why it worked out so well for Tampa Bay and for Kevin to be here. When you're talking about how the Rays fans see him and the criticism of, what KK's gone through, fair or not fair, I think what happened was anytime you have a player for that long of a tenure, right? Again, he was here for 7, 8, 9 years. You see the ups and downs, and it's easy for fans to always want their players to continue to be at their best, both offensively, defensively. And the longer they're here, the more you can point out some struggles that a certain player may have. And I think that's kind of what happened with Kiermaier. I do think overall the fans absolutely love the guy, and for good reason. I mean, he's great in the community. He's great with what he did on the field. He was a leader in the clubhouse. You always talk about, especially in the playoffs, when it counted most, who was the guy who was the most vocal for the Rays? It was Kiermaier. And so I think deep down, all the Rays fans truly do appreciate what he did. And, I think once he steps away out of a Rays uniform and fans can get an idea of, just kind of come to the quality of how good he was here and what he meant to the franchise, I think that's where you'll see these fans really embrace him anytime that he shows up or he's back either at the Trop or on TV or playing against the Trop and playing against the Rays. I think he's one of those guys that the Rays fans will cherish in the long run.
I don't want to see him in a Yankee uniform or a Red Sox uniform, bro. I don't want to.
I mean, doesn't it seem like he's the type of player, though, that it seems like a lot of times in division, these guys see what he did for so long against your team, and they have a tendency of picking him up. And so you never know where he's going to land. It could be in division. Who knows?
I always thought that the criticism was a little unfounded because I think, and I'd hear Rays players or fans say, well, he's he's our highest paid player. He's making all this money. He doesn't produce offensively. I'm like, you look at what he's getting paid. They want to, Mike, they look at Mike Trout and all these other superstars and they're like, well, they perform and they're the highest paid player. I'm like, he's making $10 million. That's nothing in this league for the most part.
Right.
I mean, and he's not Mike Trout. He is what he is.
Yeah, I agree. One thing when you got to think Kiermaier and really any player, when you look at him, you got to look at the total value of the player, what he brings. A lot of people are just looking at averages and looking at, oh man, he's not doing this or he's not hitting the ball to the opposite field or whatever you want to pick out, on a certain player. With Kiermaier, I think that was more of the easier target. A lot of people wanted to talk about his offense, but when you factor in how many runs he saved on defense, what he did for you on defense, and then you even it out across the board and factor in the defense with the offense, he was still way above average as a major leaguer for the time here spent with the Rays. And, it was a little unjust probably if people were, really criticizing him and his play and his value, because I think his value had been there for the Rays the entire time. Now, the only thing that you could criticize, and I don't even know if criticize is the way to go about it, but is talk about is how hard he played created a lot of injury time, right? That was one of the things that, he struggled with over his career. I mean, he went out there, he played so hard, he put his body on the line every single day, and that did cause some injuries. And we saw it later on in the career more and more, that he really struggled with being healthy and putting together a full healthy season. And that's one of the things that hurt him in the long run. But you can never tell a guy like Kiermaier to, hey, back it down, because if you do, you're taking away some of his biggest strengths.
Absolutely. Doug Wechter joining us here. So where do the Rays go from here? There's a lot of talk about they've got to add a big left-handed bat. There's some good ones out there. I'm looking at some of the Michael Brantley is a guy that they could get after. People are talking about switch hitting first baseman Josh Bell. I mean, there's a lot of Jock Peterson is out there, Andrew Benintendi, Matt Carpenter, Brandon Belt. I mean, there's Joey Gallo. There's all kinds of guys out there. They all have their pluses and minuses, but the bottom line is, are the Rays willing and able? And if there's some reports out there that they've been very active in talks out there and free agency, and people think they're going to spend a lot of money. We haven't seen that yet, but do you think this is something that this is the year that the Rays jump out there and do that? What are you feeling?
Well, I think that they can get very creative with going out there and getting some talent. Now, you got to remember, you're dropping off a few guys. We just talked about it. Kiermaier is going to be off the books. Mike Zunino is going to be off the books. You're going to have a few guys that they won't have to, go into next season paying. And so that frees them up financially to go elsewhere. And you also have a starting staff and a bullpen that is already locked in. I mean, you walk into next year with probably one of the best rotations and staffs in general in the entire major league. And, you can spend a lot of money very quickly if you don't have a starting rotation. And the Rays don't have to do that. So all they got to do is focus on getting a few pieces here and there to complete this puzzle. Yeah. And that's where their genius is. That's where they are so smart with what they can acquire and what kind of talent complements the talent that they already have. I love some of the names you mentioned already. Josh Bell, man, let's get a couple. That guy he can be a monster. I love the idea of a Josh Bell. He can add some power to the lineup, and he can go up against these right-handers that we really struggled against last year. Jock Peterson, that's another intriguing name. My God, Michael Brantley, are you kidding me? If we could get Michael Brantley in here, I mean, that dude's swing is like picturesque. He is one of the best swings in the major leagues consistently year in and year out. Some of these names that are getting thrown around, though, they're bigger names. And, we'll see what happens, right? I mean, either way, we know that the Rays are going to be active. And it's a lot more exciting now than it was this time last year, right? This time last year, we're talking about a lockout. Who knows what's going to happen? We might pick up a player here and there, but it was really quiet, especially at Tampa Bay, not knowing what's going to happen and go on. But, this year, I mean, the Rays have already been very active. We're already getting rumors all over the place of guys, potentially moving in. The Rays are hot on, there's a trade with G-Man Choi already. I mean, they are showing you that they know that there's a window with the starting staff and this rotation and some of these younger guys that they want to capitalize on, right? You got Wander Franco in his prime. You got to keep him healthy, but he is going to be a monster. Randy Arozarena, another guy who's young, can be very good for you. Brandon Lau, if he's healthy, can be one of the better second basemen in the league offensively. And then you're talking about the outfield, Jose Siri coming on. And then, look, again, the starting rotation, the rotation in general, you want to capitalize with all these young guys now. Yeah. And so if you can piece it together with a couple of off-season moves, maybe you do pay them a little bit more. But if you can do that and finish this puzzle and make that push deep into the postseason, I mean, my goodness, that's going to be a lot of fun because, look, I think these Rays, and everybody would agree with me, they don't just want to get in the postseason anymore. It's not, 2019. It's not 2018 anymore. They have been to the World Series in the last couple of years. They've gone to the postseason every year. They want to do some damage in October, and I think we're going to see some moves that shows that.
Listen, nobody gets signed until Longoria comes home.
Oh,
until he comes home, I don't want to hear it. I don't know what it's going to look like if he comes here from a baseball perspective, but on opening day, Doug, I need it more than anything. I need the violins because I would be there immediately. I need it more than anything.
He can throw out the first pitch, but we shouldn't be signing him.
Oh, come on. No.
I don't know the probability. I know he mentioned in the tweet that he'd be willing to come on back home, and he was just a great player, one of those iconic figures that we talked about, like KK, and he means so much to the Rays. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I'm sure Rays fans would love to see it.
Yes, they would. All right, Doug, great to speak with you, my man. Thanks for taking time. It's going to be an exciting time, and I'm with you, man. If we could go out and spend some money and add a couple of bats like that to this starting staff, it would be so exciting to see that, a Rays team could compete with Houston and some of these other teams. They just got to beef it up, and they got to spend some money. Smolty has come on our show and said that as well. They've got to get some proven bats in the lineup. So hopefully, and I know that the Neander and Bendix, they know this. So hopefully they can get the deals done, and we'll have something exciting to watch next year. Thanks for your time, buddy. I appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. You guys have a great day.
You're the greatest. That's the great Doug Wechter right there. All right, we're going to take a quick break here because Tom Brady is meeting the media in Germany. I wonder what some of these questions are going to be like. Maybe get a couple in German that have to be translated. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So he's speaking right now. We'll give you a slice of it when we come back. Stay with us.
Hey guys, Serena Fazan here for the Gold and Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go. Go see my friends, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Gold and Diamond Source for your one-stop jewelry supercenter. It's never been more important to shop local and support the businesses that support our amazing Tampa Bay community. None better than the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, or online at goldendiamond.com.
Are you concerned your spouse might be cheating or want to locate a long-lost relative or love? Or a missing person and the police are not helping? An insurance adjuster who needs proof of injury. Hi, I'm Rachel D'Antonio from Tampa Bay's premier private investigation agency, Emerging Investigation. We have a proven track record of results. Local attorneys and insurance companies hire us to discover insurance fraud and crucial information in criminal cases. We can help in custody matters, and we devote a tremendous state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge industry surveillance techniques to get you trusted results. Larger corporate agencies can be more expensive and do not offer the personal level of customer service and interaction that we pride ourselves on. We are a family-owned business. Our professional experience team includes my son, lead investigator Zach D'Antonio, a former collegiate athlete, and my daughter Emily, who leads our in-house investigations team. Don't take matters into your own hands by trying to install snooping programs on phones or GPS trackers. That can cause unneeded stress and give you inaccurate results. Go with the professionals at Emerging Investigations. We have proven results and tremendous testimonials from our satisfied customers. Call for a free consultation and we can discuss how we can help. Peace of mind is as valuable as bad news. Just go to our website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's emerginginv.com. We're Emerging Investigations. We get results in life's biggest matters.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Scott Fitzgerald. And we'll hear from him a little bit, talk some real estate with him coming up in the final moments of our show. But Tom Brady is meeting the media in Germany. And I think we have a little slice of it's an interesting setup. If you're just listening, if you're watching, obviously you'll see this. But if you're not, it's the old microphones from hell, tons of them. And I could just they have brought the Advent Health background, though, all the way over to Germany just to make sure we get it going on. So here's a little slice of Brady in Germany.
Who wants to start?
What do you know about Munich?
Not as much as I should.
They got no audio on this thing? What is this?
Soccer team, and I've actually followed them for quite a while.
Well, I can hear.
But we're all just very excited to be here.
I can't hear.
It's a beautiful place, and we just got in this morning, so good to kind of move around a little bit and get ready for a game Sunday. It should be very exciting. I know the fans will be excited. I think the players are more excited. We want to go out there and do a great job. I haven't decided. Yeah, just trying to see maybe a little later today, but try to lay low. I mean, we're still here for a game, so maybe have dinner and then try to just get my energy up and be ready to go on Sunday.
You always tell us that you're not 25 anymore. So what is a transatlantic flight like for a 45-year-old body? You've got to go out there and throw much football.
I feel pretty good. I felt a lot worse on transatlantic flights, so that was a pretty nice one. We got right on the plane and slept pretty good, so I'm in good shape.
So Alex did his job then.
Always, man. He's undefeated. He's done a great job.
So we want to welcome.
Keep it going.
Welcome you to Munich. And
that looks nice.
In Bavaria, Lederhosen is
he's presenting it with
a special one, and we have manufactured for you
Amazing.
a special one, a Bucs one with a TB12 logo on it.
Very cool.
And we are very proud to have you here in Munich.
Thank you.
And want you always to have good memories when you think back to Munich.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
The guy gave
Thank
some
you.
leader hosing.
Just like that? How would that look going out to the game in that? Pretty good. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's
Kyle Trask gonna wear that out there.
London, do you think the team playing well overseas, not letting the travel time zone get back?
I think playing well is playing well. It doesn't matter where you're at and which stadium, what country. It's for us. It's going to come down to how well we do our job, and we talked about execution quite a bit lately. So this is a good team. They're good in all three phases of the game. So we're going to be challenged. They got a lot of good skill players. Gino's playing great, very well coached, good team, and we're going to have to bring our best.
You talked about embarrassing effort. Have you talked about execution in that instance, or just like that's been like the lack of effort?
Yeah, I just think, what can we control? We can certainly control our attitude, our effort. And I think everything's been below the line this year. We're 4-5. I don't think there's any reason to be happy about anything we've done.
Yes.
Obviously, we're not playing to our standards. We're not there from an effort standpoint, execution standpoint, emotional standpoint, and we got to figure it out. It's a good place to do it. Go ahead.
There's obviously a lot of emotions this year for you in the personal and also in your professional life. How do you cope with all these different emotions you have? Now you have to go all the way to Munich again. It's a lot of chaos. How do you do it?
Let's see how he answers this.
You just do the best you could do. You do the best you could do every day, and that's what I've been trying to do. Be the best I could be for my family and for my teammates. And we all have our challenges. Life is challenging for everybody, so just do our best.
Germans like to imagine that the Munich game was a reason for you to return to retirement. Please be honest with us. Was it even a little tiny thought from you?
About being here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. And I told all my teammates that you're not going to necessarily remember every game you play in your whole career, but these ones you do remember. They're very special. Just to go to another place and have an experience like this, and to when I'm older, I'll be thinking about practicing in that stadium right there, and then going to play in Allianz Arena, which is amazing. So this is your whole life is made of memories and experiences, and to do it with the teammates and do it with the game that I love. And football has brought me a lot of places in life, and it's brought me to Germany now because I've never been here before, but I'm definitely coming back.
Tom Brady addressing the media in Munich live right there. So, yeah, a lot of the
You're gonna have to get Smith up to speed because I felt so left out there.
You couldn't hear it. Yeah, you know, a lot of the same answers. But the funny part was the guy who asked the question, he presented him with some lederhosen.
Yeah, I saw that. Whatever that was.
It was lederhosen, and you didn't see like the strap parts of it. You know, like, can you imagine him and coming in? He says Kyle Trask is going to have to wear that. Of course, that would be hilarious, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So, yeah, he's absolutely right. You forget a lot of games you play, but you're not going to forget this one. It's going to be, and it's such a critical one for the Bucs.
Yeah, I could only judge the facial reactions there,
Yeah.
but he looked like he was in a very jovial mood.
Yeah,
it definitely means a lot to him to be over there.
And he was asked about, the comment of an embarrassing effort, and he's like, "Look, we're 4-5. Nothing's been good." And I like that. That's not the attitude he had early, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's not. Remember, we'd ask him about that. He'd be like, well, it was part of the reality of what it is. I don't know if people are coming back. He just didn't have any fire in his belly.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that for how long this year? And it seems different. It just seems different. And he's the key. Because guys are going to follow his effort. Guys are going to follow his lead. Yeah. Guys are going to follow him with everything.
Let's have fun again.
Yeah, let's have fun. Let's make it fun again.
You're in Germany. You're playing in a once-in-a-lifetime moment over there.
Put the damn lederhosen on, for God's sakes. Let's put it under your put it under your
While you're over there, Tom, drink a beer.
Have a beer.
Have a beer.
Not an avocado beer, but a real beer. Go to the Opera House, swill one back, chug it. Just chug it. Let it loose a little bit. Ain't gonna kill you.
Have a beer with your offensive line.
There you go.
Yeah.
And a sausage. This guy, have a sausage.
A brat.
A schnitzel. Have a schnitzel. Yeah. I mean, come on. It ain't gonna kill you. You might put a smile on your face. No avocado schnitzel. Get the apple fritter schnitzel, like the fried stuff, dude. Yes. All right, quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some real estate with my good friend Scott Fitzgerald, probably talk some Bucs and everything else in FSU. But if you are interested in that, and many of us are, where the market is going, if you're thinking about buying a house or maybe an investment property, anything like that, he is the absolute expert. So we'll chat with him when we come back to finish out things and talk some football as well. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Oh my God. It's so funny. I won't put you out on Front Street there, Fitzy. As we welcome you back to JP Peterson Show, brought to you by one of our great sponsors here, Scott Fitzgerald from American Mortgage Services. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, what's happening? Happy Veterans Day for all the veterans out there.
Happy Veterans Day. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Let me move this up right here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I will put you on blast. So we're getting him all set up here, and like we're coming back, we're in the open, and Fitzy's like, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, too late, bro. You're going to have to do like me and Nick do every day and hold it for like 10 seconds.
I'm not a professional. I was laying on this couch you had over here, this leather couch. I almost fell asleep over here.
He's drinking all the free beer.
Yeah.
He's drinking all the free beer we have here at 11 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm kidding.
3 cups of coffee.
He's a big FSU guy. But you were telling me, you sent me this little tidbit, which we used on the air earlier. Mm-hmm. Is it your niece?
My niece works for the Seahawks. So she's works for the general manager. She was a recruiting coordinator at Alabama and La Tech. And
so she's high up in that organization.
She's right underneath.
What's her name?
Haley.
Haley Holtz.
So she was hired with the background because the NFL right now is hiring a lot of minorities and females. They're looking to hire tons of females. And her resume, her background was in college, working in the recruiting department at Alabama and La Tech and all that with a lot of experience. So the general manager wanted to find a female that had a lot of experience in player personnel and that kind of stuff. So she was a perfect fit. So they offered her a job and she flew out to Seattle, took the position this year. So she's loving it out there right now.
Is she in Germany? They take her.
She did not go. That's the only thing.
Okay.
Yeah. She stayed back, but kind of regrets it.
So she was part of the whole heist of the Denver Broncos that you sent me all those picks. I didn't realize what they did with the picks.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's why they're 6-3 right now. That's why they had such a rapid turnaround.
Well, first thing I thought it was the Herschel Walker trade.
Exactly.
Years ago. I mean, you can remember these type of things, and it was a coup. And Gino's playing great. I mean, it's really good. And they got the backup quarterback too from Denver, so it'll be interesting to see how they play. But
well, hopefully, and no offense, Haley, but we need to kick your ass this
week.
No,
I told her that.
It's a big weekend for the Bucs, and I know as an FSU fan, you really enjoyed watching them kick the crap out of Miami last week.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we've been through a lot of heartbreak with Miami, so it's good to stick it to them.
Well, I was telling you since I was a freshman at Florida State in '87, our record is 18-18. So that was we were 18-18 going in there. So I've sat through a lot of those wide rights, and
haven't we all?
Disappointing times after some of those losses, but they've been some great rivalry games. So it was good to see that put together.
Embarrassing in their own stadium. Absolutely. All right. So I want to talk a little bit of real estate here because you're a very successful real estate investor. You obviously been in the mortgage business for a couple of decades now, and this is a volatile time. And we've never seen them. You think about the real estate market in the last year and a half. We saw prices in Tampa Bay go up 25, 30% in some areas in a year.
Even more. Yeah. 30
crazy.
To 40.
I mean, there were just ridiculous bidding wars on homes.
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, we never see anything like that.
It was crazy about a year and a half ago, just because we had so many people moving from out of state that wanted to move to Florida. A lot of political reasons for political things. But we're coming. So there was just a low inventory supply. So you just had, for every house that would go on the market, you'd have 20 people wanting to buy it. So, you were seeing a lot of cash buyers were coming in and taking houses from first-time home buyers. So that was kind of the tough thing. But you had people going 100,000 over asking price. They were waiving contingencies and appraisals and all kinds of stuff. So I didn't really enjoy that part of it.
No,
just seeing how it was. But it has slowed down and with the Feds increasing short-term interest rates so dramatically. we literally saw rates in the high twos. I think beginning of June, 30-year fixed rates hit a high of 7.5%.
7.5 from high twos to 7.5%.
But since then, the good news is yesterday was a real big news. The inflation numbers came out. So as aggressively as the Feds have been raising rates, things have slowed down with the reports. The CPI numbers came out, which were really favorable. So the stock market was up 1,200 points. The bond market was up 215 basis points, which I've never seen it like that. So rates are back down in the sixes.
That has something to do with the election?
Yes. We'll see.
I think so.
Still don't understand Arizona and Georgia and
it's always
Pennsylvania.
It always seems the longer they count the votes, it always goes one way.
But Florida did its job.
Yeah,
they did a great job.
It's amazing. Third most people and we count the votes that night. Interesting. We've been able to get that done.
Yeah.
So where do you think things are going now? So rates are coming back down. If people are out there and they've been wanting to buy a house for the last year and a half or something, and it just went crazy, they waited. When is a good time to jump back in the market?
Now it's not a bad time because right now there's more inventory out of the market than there was, before. So prices are starting to become a little realistic. You're not seeing these crazy asking prices that people are asking for. So there's a lot more inventory out there. Rates are starting to come down. I think now is a great time. And I've been getting a lot of calls from renters, people that are renting that are paying $2,500, $3,000, $4,000 a month in rent.
Yep.
So if you're one of those situations, please, email me, call me, whatever. Let me know what your rental situation is when your lease comes up and all the particulars on it. And we can do some comparisons to see the difference between owning a property and renting a property, because that's huge. People really don't realize that. And also they're concerned about having enough money for a down payment. There's programs out there that you can get into a home with zero down and even do some seller concessions and stuff to help out with closing costs. So there's a lot of things out there. So really just, ask the questions and stuff, but now's a great time. At some point, you're going to want to purchase a home and have equity. So that's key.
And what about investing? You've been a successful investor. Is it time as these prices come down? Are there bargains out there, or maybe in another 6 months? What would you advise?
There will be, ironically, the hurricanes, down in the Fort Myers area, Port Charlotte area. I'm dealing with that with my mom's house. A lot of damage down in those areas. So you'll get a lot of investors that are going down in some of those areas near the beaches and stuff, looking to buy some properties and stuff as is and fixing those up. So there's a great opportunity. One of the areas that I've done really well in is vacation rental, short-term vacation rentals. And that's a great market. So, whether you're looking at duplexes, quadplexes, Airbnb properties and stuff, Natalie and Eric Weatherington just bought a place in Ybor City that they have an old historic property that they're just put on an Airbnb situation, and which is really neat. So
it's a great way to drive income.
Absolutely.
It really is. Yeah.
Different side.
Yeah. So we're one of the reasons I want to bring you on, because you're going to, now that the market had slowed down a little bit, we're going to give the fans out there a great opportunity to tap into your expertise. And you're offering, that you'll sit down with people for free, to sit down with people on a one-on-one basis or a couple and say, and if they have questions about, should we get in now? Should we buy now? Should we wait? How do we finance it? All these questions that we just asked about, no down, are there other programs? I mean, so many of us are just not knowledgeable in all the inner workings because there is so much to know. You've done this all your life. So if people want to email you, scott@amstampa.com, you'll sit down with them and you'll use your expertise and do it for free.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Contact me because, a lot of questions. There's a lot of people in Tampa that have second homes in North Carolina. We have a lot of friends that have North Carolina mountain houses. They rent those out, and a lot of those pay for themselves. Same thing with beach homes and those type of properties. So a lot of people aren't aware that, hey, can I buy a second home? Can I buy a vacation home? They're concerned and don't think they could qualify for multiple properties or even investor properties. I'd like to buy some investor properties and get some rental income coming in. But I don't think I make enough money to do that, or I don't think I have enough money as a down payment. There's all these different things. So usually I'll go through and I'll spend a good amount of time going through everybody's financial situations, running numbers for them and answering questions that, most of the time they're surprised and say, wow, I didn't know I could do this. I mean, it's amazing. So,
and that's the thing, you guys, if you're interested in this investing or you're thinking about buying a home, and he's going to do this for free for you. He'll sit down with you.
Come into the office, bring your financial information, and he can look at all of it and say, well, this might be a good opportunity for you to invest. This would be a good time for you to buy a home. This is probably what your price range should be. Maybe if you want to get a rental property, stay in this price range for your house, and then you'll have this much left over. There's so many different things you can do. If you want to get into the real estate business and you don't have a lot of information, this guy does. And he's going to sit down with you and go through the whole thing of it for free, in the hopes that when you do want to do a loan, you'll come and deal with you, because he's the best. He's the best.
Well, and the key too, I mean, there's a lot of people that are planning for the retirement future. So I'll get some people that said, hey, probably 10, 15 years we plan on retiring. So why don't we buy that vacation home now? We can go ahead and rent it out and get rental income. And ultimately that'll be, we'll retire in that place, sell our home, and pay off the mortgage down the road. So there's all these different factors in there, and really that's what I'm here for. Is to help.
And this time where, with inflation and times are tough financially, obviously for a lot of people, you got to be smart. And if you don't have the information, you can't be smart. And how do you get the information? You guys want to go do all the research on your own and try to get 20 years, 25 years of experience that this guy has? Probably a bad idea. When you can do it for free, go Scott AMS Tampa. He'll sit down with you and do some consulting, and then you can do whatever you want after that. No obligation, but you're just sharing the information.
Absolutely.
You're a hell of a guy.
Thank you.
You're a hell of a guy,
Thank you.
Fitzy. You're a hell of a guy, brother.
Let's go drink some beers.
Yeah, let's do it.
Watch some golf.
Yeah, we're gonna head out to the Pelican, and by the way, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, the Pelican is hosting the LPGA event out there. It's going to be, hopefully the weather will clear today. It's going to be great all weekend. Highly advise you to go out there. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. And the girls are so accessible, and they're awesome to watch. So we're headed out there. You should be too. All right, Nick, we're going to wrap this thing up. So I'll let him jump back in here. Thanks, partner.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick.
We will be on it all weekend long, folks. So watch us for your social media this weekend for Bucks, and we'll be doing college football and the Bolts as well. I'll be there at Emily Arena on Sunday night as the Bolts and Washington will play. Bucks on Sunday morning. Man, it's going to be a hell of a Sunday for me. I got golf on Sunday too. What a day. Too much fun. You guys have a great weekend out there, and be safe. And we will talk to you on Monday. Go Bucks, go Bolts, and we'll see if the Rays do anything this weekend from a free agency standpoint. Have a great weekend, everybody.